Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're in the kitchen again tonight, and we are going to be making a cake that is actually made using two different recipes that I've already posted. So the first thing you're going to need is my basic white cake. Check out the description to the link for the link to that cake. Now you can use any cake really, you can do a yellow cake or whatever, but this works best with the basic white cake because we are making a nutty cloud cake. So the icing is white, it's quite a bright white, and the filling is quite bright white. The cake looks best if it's bright white. So you'll need the basic white cake. Check the link in the description for that video. And you're also going to need the cloud frosting recipe. Okay, so I will also provide a link to that. It's a very, very easy frosting to make. No problem. It's only a few ingredients. The only kind of snag is you have to boil some white corn syrup, and it's kind of annoying. But it's easy to make. It's really easy. It can be a little annoying if you don't like boiling corn syrup. But otherwise, it's pretty easy. But before we do any of that, we actually have to prepare a filling. We have to prepare the base for the filling and let that soak for about half an hour to an hour. So to do that, what we need a third of a cup of pecans. Just, pecan pieces, it doesn't matter. So chopped up, doesn't really matter. So just some pecan pieces, okay? You're also going to want to get some raisins, and you're going to again want about a third of a cup of raisins. Put that in there. Give that kind of just a toss with your hand, okay? And then you're going to want about a third of a cup of chopped dates. They don't have to be chopped small because it's a filling. It doesn't matter. So they can be chopped in slightly larger pieces. That's okay. My recommendation is to buy your dates already chopped because otherwise it's really irritating. So give that a mix. Now this needs something to soak in, okay? So it depends really on, are you making this cake for children or adults? If you're making it for children, and I have two underage children in the house, so this is what I'm doing. So you want about 2 tablespoons of a dark corn syrup, okay? If you're not making this for kids, so if this is all adults present, then you can soak these in brandy, okay? But it is, in a lot of areas, frowned upon to give children alcohol. So if you are preparing for children, you can just use some corn syrup. Okay, so a little bit of corn syrup. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get just about a tablespoon of cold water. Okay? Tablespoon of cold water, and throw that over top. Give it a mix. Okay. Make sure all the filling gets kind of wet with the corn syrup. If you're using brandy or rum, you don't need to add the water, just add a little extra brandy or rum. So 3 tablespoons of brandy or rum, whatever you like. But if you have underage peoples partaking of this cake, just use the corn syrup and a little bit of water. Okay, now we're going to take the lid, pop that on, just going to let it sit at room temperature for 30 to 60 minutes, then we'll come back and keep working on our cake. All right, our filling has been soaking, so our raisins and our dates will be kind of softened. So I'm just going to grab a little spoon. Okay, so we're going to give this a mix. There we go. Yeah, looking good. Okay. So because those are nicely coated, what we need now is our white cloud frosting. Whoopsie. So I've made this white cloud frosting quite a few times. I can't even remember how many times. So what you're going to need is you're actually going to need a cup of it. 1 cup. So this is a ½ cup scoop. So I am just going to scoop twice. So yep, you need a full cup. This makes your filling, okay? All right, we don't need that anymore. So now we're going to take this cup of frosting, of our white cloud frosting or icing, depending on Where you're from, you'll call it something different. And give that a really good mix. Incorporate everything. There we go. There. Nice filling. Yum. Okay. Now we're going to need cake. First we need something to put our cake on. If you've watched my other videos, you've seen me put cakes in here many times. So now we need some of our white cake. And I'm going to grab a knife. Now it's really important that this cake is actually pretty flat on top. So, because we have to do 2 layers. So we're just going to use our knife. There we go. Just use a bread knife. Take that off, and I'm just going to throw that on a plate. We've got the top of the container here. So we are using the lid of a Tupperware container, plastic container, it doesn't matter. So what we're going to do now is take our filling, get that on there. Okay. There we go. Okay. So you don't want it flowing off over the edge, so just kind of push it around so it fills your cake area. Okay? You want to stay a little bit off of the edge, just so that when you place your other half on top, it doesn't go everywhere. Okay. There we go. Okay. You don't need this bowl anymore. Now you need your other half of the cake. Okay. Take this cake. I turn it upside down. This one was pretty flat. Give it a mild press just so it sticks. But don't be too rough. You don't want all the filling coming out. Now the next thing to do is decorate this cake. I'm not going to do that on camera. Well, I kind of am, but I'm going to post it as a separate video because apparently people think me frosting cakes is hilarious. So I'm not going to show you that part in this video. I will post that at a later date just because it always looks really bad. But the next step is to frost this with the rest of your white cloud icing. And I'm sorry, I'm really bad. So we'll be back when I've finished it. Alright, so I frosted the cake. I know it's not great, but it tastes delicious. This is definitely worth the effort. And when you cut into it, you're going to have that layer of nuts and raisins and dates in that brandy or in that corn syrup and with that icing, and it's just fantastic. I really recommend this cake, especially for parties. You don't even have to tell people what's in the middle, as long as there are no nut allergies. And they'll be surprised when they cut it open, and they'll be almost blown away by this frosting that tastes like a melted marshmallow. I'm not kidding about that. It's delicious, fantastic, and I highly recommend this particular combination for pretty much any time. And it's so easy to make, you could do it just on a regular Monday night if you wanted to. So definitely give this guy a try. So thanks for joining us here today at Andersen Acres. Don't forget to try out this cake. We'll see you tomorrow.